Good afternoon, Flosstube. It is Mandy coming to you with another stitching update. Today is Sunday, May 10th. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, my sister, and all the mothers out there. I just want to say thank you to returning subscribers, new subscribers. I appreciate all of the support that you guys have shown me. So you can find me here on Instagram, on Flosstube, and on Instagram at StitchingBee82. So today I have two finishes and then a couple of updates or a couple whips and some gray haul. So I've definitely been doing a little bit of shopping over the past few weeks and things have come in, so I figure I'll go ahead and show those to you. So we'll just go ahead and dive right into it, shall we? So the first thing, a little bit, I'll show one part of the haul just because I used it. So I got a skein of Gentle Art Grape Fizz. I just love this purple. Obviously you can tell I'm a bit of a purple fan. Ordered this from Abby Topknot Stitcher, and so that came in, and I decided that that would be the perfect color to use for one of the Be Well and Stitch. So if you haven't seen, I'm sure by now a lot of you have, but on Instagram, mainly on Instagram I guess, a lot of designers have been coming out with the Be Well and Stitch patterns. There's a ton of freebie patterns out there that designers have released to keep us stitching and, you know, supporting local needlework shops and all of that good stuff. And so I stitch up another one of those. So this is the Be Well and Stitch from Sue Hillis. So it says be well and just keep stitching. So I used a piece of confetti, Picture This Plus 16 count Aida with that purple Grape Fizz. And I stitched this 2 strands over one, full cross each individual X as I went along, so that it kind of give that variegated look. This isn't too variegated, but it's definitely enough that especially like you can see some of these little darker blobs, if you will, a little stretch of dark. So I actually used this previously for another one of my Be Well. This was the Be Well and Stitch from Kitschy Stitcher, I believe it is. It's on Instagram. And so I just figured it was a perfect piece to just add it to that. So I don't plan on finishing them together or anything like that, but I just figured it would be a good piece of material to add that to it. So again, this is Be Well and Just Keep Stitching from Sue Hillis. Fun little piece. I got that stitched up in just overnight. You know, started it one day, finished it the next. And so my next finish, very excited about this one. I was inspired to get the pattern and start stitching it after seeing Michelle Bendy Stitchy stitching it. I loved her color conversions, but I just kept mine the same, called for colors, I guess. It is Brocade Boulevard from, I always get tongue-tied over this, StoneStreet Stitchworks. And there it is. Like she says, they are deceptively large houses. There's a lot of stitching in these. So I kept it for all of the called for colors. There are some where it called for blends or like 3 strands rather than 2, where other sections called for 2 strands. I wasn't going for all of that. But I love that purple house. That purple is 154. I know I showed this in a previous whip. And then, so since you saw this last, I finished the 3rd house, and then all of the snowflakes across the top and on the bottom, just that straight line along the bottom. Now that I know how to do photo editing, adding photos, maybe I'll end up putting a before picture here. Who knows, we'll see. But yeah, this is finish number 5 for the year. So the this Be Well was finish number 4. This one was number 3. I don't remember what the other 2 were. Snowbird was number 1. I don't remember what the second one was. But I do know that this was finish number 5 for the year. And I love it. No plans on finishing at the moment, but Maybe eventually it'll be framed or something. So there's a group, semi-sane stitchers. I don't think they're accepting new members at this time. But they have all kinds of games going on just to keep you stitching. So I know I've mentioned before, last month they did the, it was called Stitches and Frogs and Stitches. Basically take off of chutes and ladders. This month is the Stitchopoly, so much like Monopoly. So there's a board, each spot is a different designer or a store, different kind of suppliers, and you do stitches for each number. You know, each spot has a designated stitch count that you do those. So it has been a great like goal setting, I guess, that I've been able to get so much done on my eagles, which have come in brocade. This next piece, I get to, you know, stitching on one of those spots, I get my goal, roll again, get to the next spot, and I keep going. So it's been a great way to keep me stitching on everything. So last Saturday I decided to pull out an older whip that you haven't seen since my whip parade and out of my on my first premiere video. I guess I was feeling a little bit of Halloween in May. So this is, it's from a Cross Stitch Needlework magazine, September 2013 issue. I think the name of it is like Spooktacular Treat Bag. The final, you know, how they displayed it for the final piece was a Halloween, you know, treat bag, trick-or-treaters. No plans of making it into a tote bag, but no plans for finishing it all. I just wanted to keep on stitch on it. So it's this fun little haunted house. I'm loving it. So I finally decided to start working on the back stitching, and that has just made a pop. So if I can remember to put up a before picture there so you can be able to see kind of a side-by-side view. But yeah, when I picked the piece up, I really was working on the moon and then back stitching. So I had the house portion and the windows and this little steeple portion all done. I was just adding the back stitching as I was going along. So I would do a strand or two of yellow, and then I'd do a strand of black, you know, the back stitching, come back over here, do more of the moon, more back stitching. So break it up a little bit. And yeah. So Needleminder Luke's Diner from Gilmore Girls. My t-shirt is actually the same logo. I love it. I don't remember where that one came from. I do have a plastic one that came from Abby Top Knot Stitcher. I don't remember what Etsy shop this one came from. This is stitched on a piece of 18 count Aida 2/1 full cross in pewter, I think was the color. Slate, maybe? I don't remember the color. It's kind of a, I want to say this was pewter because I think I cut it off from another project that I had started. It was on pewter. So yeah, that was a little fun little piece. And my next whip is going to be my eagles. So I did get a page finish since the last time. I got needle minder stuck in here. I did get a page finish. I'm going to try to put in a full picture of that because I still have it on the Q-snap, and it's getting to be so much material. I'm to the point where I don't even know how to handle all of it while I'm stitching because I have it rolled up and it's getting so heavy just trying to stitch. So we'll get it figured out. But there it is. So this is page, I finished page 37 and started page 38, I believe. Yep. So finished page 37, started page 38. And working more on that flag. Those stars, get up there a little bit, they are so confetti heavy. They were so detailed, but it's definitely worth it. The detail out of them is amazing, but man, there. It definitely took a lot of work, a lot of color changing. So I am loving it. So working on page 38 out of 49. have the large print pattern. This is Together We Stand from Heaven and Earth. I have a tendency to just call it my Eagles without actually saying the name of it. It is stitched on 16 count Aida 2/1 full cross. 89 colors are in the pattern. So I have, what, 11 pages left. So I'm loving it. So with having those 2 finishes this week, I decided I was ready for a new start. And this is also another portion of my haul because I had ordered a big piece of Aida from the local needlework shop, LNS Stitches and Things, out of Fenton, Michigan. So I'll link them below. Store's not open, but they are definitely taking online orders. You can email the shop too if there's anything particular you're looking for. So they do have somebody going into the shop each day, working alone and working on those orders. So I definitely wanted to be able to give her some business. So I did get a couple pieces of bigger Aida. I got a piece of 16 by 26, it looks like. Just something to add to my stash because with all of those Be Well and Stitch patterns that were coming out, I got to looking at the material that I have and it's like, I don't have a whole lot of material to choose from. So I figured I'd just go ahead and add a couple of bigger pieces of white Aida just to cut down for whatever projects that I need. So I am going to put in a picture here of what I started. It is from Heaven and Earth. It is called Mini Dark Goddess. I got the pattern earlier this year. Actually, it was in February. I believe Heaven and Earth had their Leap Day sale, and it was 54% off. So great deal on the pattern, and I finally got the material in to start it. So get some color here. Just brilliant purples are starting to come in there. So another 16 count Aida 2/1 full cross, and I like to follow the pattern symbol wise. So this morning I was working on following one particular symbol, and no sense in tying off up here when I had like 5 stitches down here. So I just was following the patterns. I don't do parking or, complete little boxes at a time or anything like that. So I just was following the symbols. And this needle minder is from, I love it. I just love those colors. From Gina's Unique Needle Minders on Etsy. So yeah, so because of all of the shops being closed and everything right now, I have not been able to get to a print shop to print out my Heaven and Earth pattern, and so I've just decided to use my iPad to start following along. I don't have Pattern Keeper. I don't want Pattern Keeper. I have Apple, so obviously that's not available, and that's fine. I've been using iBooks to mark my way as I go, and I've learned today I've got to use a stylus to be able to highlight individual boxes as I go, because just trying to tap, selecting the symbols from there is highlighting an entire row when all I want is individual stitches. So at least I found a stylus, and that's helping at least, because if I am going to have problems with all of the highlighting, then I will be going to a print shop as soon as they are open. My mom actually said yesterday that one is open, so if I can't make this work, then I will be finding a shop to get that printed for me, because I'll go back to paper highlighting, or paper and pencil to highlight. So that is all of the whips and finishes that I have. So definitely been doing lots of stitching while everyone's staying home. So we'll go ahead and get into Happy Mail and haul. So a couple weeks ago, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a giveaway. Well, Christine at Stitch All the Things has been doing a lot of giveaways for thread keeps that a shop is had sent her a bunch of them to give away, and I had entered for quite a few videos, and I finally won one. I was so excited. So love the skull, so cool. And on the bander, on the strap, it says "Ye be warned." So A little sugar skull, I guess you call it. So very cool. If I do use these, I make sure to keep them in a project bag when I'm not using, because I have a cat and she likes to play with threads. In fact, last night I was starting to, as I was working on the Dark Goddess, I had the skeins of thread that I just hadn't bobbinated yet, and I just had a little basket. Yeah, I forgot to put them away, so when I went out for a little bit, she ended up finding a couple, and so last night I was stitching. I didn't realize that she had taken off with a couple, and so last night I was sitting here stitching, and she was playing off with something. I figured it was a toy. Yeah, she found a toy all right, one of my skeins of thread, so immediately got that from her. And then a little bit later, I couldn't find a color floss that I needed for my Dark Goddess. I'm like, why? I know I've got all of the threads for it. Where in the world is this skein? So went in my like mass DMC boxes, ended up finding a bobbin that had like one thread length worth on it. It really wasn't a whole lot left, enough for the 4 little stitches that I needed for the time being. Yeah, a little bit later I looked over on the floor. Earlier in the evening she had found another skein, and she had played with that one quite a bit, so don't know that I'll be able to salvage that one, but it's fine. What are the skeins of DMC? 56 cents. So I've got a list. I do need to order some more DMC, so I'll probably just get a fresh skein. But yeah, so cats, gotta watch out for those that thread. So thank you so much to Christine for that. I doubt she watches my video, but I do greatly appreciate winning that. So that was a nice little happy meal. So into the haul, I got my nest egg from Threads Entwined. Sorry about that. And so this would have been, I guess, the May came in. Didn't have to go chasing after the postal delivery this time. He actually delivered to the right unit, so I do appreciate that. So very pretty skeins here. I've got the 5 skein. So we've got Buttermint, a little soft blue. My lighting isn't the best here. We've got Buttercup, so this yellow. Really pretty. That one's really well variegated. Some darker pieces in that. No clue what I'm going to use any of these for, but I thought they were pretty and decided to sign up with the... And this is Bumblebee, another pretty yellow. And we've got Brown Sugar. So it's really brown, light. I mean, it looks like what brown sugar actually looks like. And then this is Bronze. Nice brown. So again, no plans, just decided to add the color in cotton. I don't know if I even said that. Color in cotton nest egg from Threads Entwined. So back to Abby Top Notch Stitcher shop. She now has her own website. Usually she's on Etsy, but she is migrating over to the actual website. Great little shop. She's got tons of stuff to choose from, and fast shipping with everything that's going on and you know, postal being so delayed. I got so I'm in Michigan. I know she lives in California. 4 or 5 days maybe. I couldn't believe how quickly it came in. So not only did I get that skein of Grape Fizz from her, but then I also got Purple Iris. So really blues and purple in there, really pretty. Again, no set plans for it. I just was going through her threads, and there was one particular pattern I wanted, and so I figured, well, one pattern can't travel alone, right? So I was looking through the threads she had available and spied those pretty ones, and so I went ahead and got those. So she showed this on her last video. It was her, I think it was her market update, and as soon as I finished watching her video, I immediately went over to her shop and ordered this pattern because I love it. It's Silver Creek Samplers, and it's called Moonshine. So before I flip it around, the moon said to me, "Do not wait to behold to let your light shine from the depths of your soul. And I love it. I love the saying, love the moon. So I may already have some pretty gray fabric to do this on, not really sure. But I very well may have to get this started really soon because I just love it. So, yeah. Moonshine from Silver Creek Samplers. And so again, because I was already ordering, I decided to go ahead and add another pattern. So this is Bendy Stitchy Designs, Trimming the Tree. Adorable Christmas ornament. He is so cute. I love how it's got a little bird up on his hat. We got a little bird down here in the snow. So very cute. No plans on when I'm actually going to stitch it, but hopefully I'll get it stitched this year and get it up for Christmas. And so then when I did place an order with 123 Stitch. Again, I wanted to add some more fabric to my stash. So while I was on there looking at the fabric, I went ahead and looked to see what other patterns I wanted. And they are the only distributor that sells the Lizzie Kate patterns. And so I still needed a couple of the Halloween rules. So I had like I think I had 3 of these already. Maybe I had 4. I don't know. But this one is the Visit a Haunted House and Scarecrow. And they come with the little beads or buttons, I guess, there. So one of these days I'll get started working on that. Haven't even worked on trying to find a piece of fabric that's going to be long enough for all of those. I do have the free border and the top portion of it saved. I just I'm gonna have to get working on that one of these days. Love the Halloween stitching. So just random pieces of material that I was going through or getting. I like how 123 Stitch sells the they're like 9 by 13, well 8 by 12 I guess it is, of Picture This Plus. So I went ahead and picked up some of those. They're great for those little smalls like you saw in the Be Well. So this is 16 count Crystal Whirlpool, and you can see that glitter. When I ordered it, I guess when it came in, I didn't realize that I had gotten the opal. Not a big deal. It's not the softest material, but that's fine. I didn't remember that I got opal though. So it's pretty. Who knows what I'll stitch on it. And then I got a piece of 16 count Haven. Nice blue. Pretty modeling it. I guess that's about the color. I don't know. It's really soft. Kind of looks like sky blue. So really pretty. And then I got a bigger piece. It's 12 by 18. Not Picture This Plus. Just a color of Sea Spray Aida. So another pretty blue. So kind of like that ice blue, I guess. But yeah. So I guess that's all of my haul. All of my whips. So I do greatly appreciate you guys stopping by watching. So no set plans, I guess. I really probably need to get back to my eagles. It's actually been a few days that I've worked on that one because I got to working on Brocade and I realized how really close I was to a finish and decided to keep on stitching on that. So Friday night I actually thought that I might have been able to get it finished, but it was getting to be like 1 o'clock in the morning and I was ready for bed. So, and those snowflakes are deceptively big too. So not just the houses, but those snowflakes had a lot of stitching to them. So I got up yesterday morning and went ahead and finished that. So then I'll probably end up stitching more on my Dark Goddess as well because I'm just loving those colors. So, but yeah, I definitely need to get back to the eagles so that I know I'm getting so close to a finish on that, and so no time to stop now on that just because I want to work on other stuff, right? So I hope you guys all have a wonderful Sunday afternoon or whatever day it is that you decide to watch. Happy Mother's Day again to everyone, and just keep stitching and stay home, stay safe. Michigan is starting to open things up a little bit now, a little bit more. I know construction went back to work, and manufacturing is going back on Monday, I think it is. couple weeks yet. I don't know. So all we can do is what we can do ourselves to stay safe, right? So hope all is doing well. Thanks again for stopping by, and hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.